Allow me to begin by expressing my profound gratitude to the President of the Association and to the government of Malaysia and the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission and its Commissioner for the hospitality and for, most importantly, for bringing us together in yet another annual conference and general meeting of this association. The central theme of this annual meeting, the sixth Technical Assistance and Information Exchange, I would suggest to you, is both timely and appropriate. Back in 2009, the Conference of the States Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption reached a landmark decision with the adoption of the terms of reference of an implementation review mechanism, the first such mechanism for a United Nations convention of this nature. But the conference also reached a key political decision. It was the decision to fold all its work on technical assistance under that mechanism. It was a key political decision because it entailed risk, particularly for developing countries. And it was the product of a process of maturity, of reaching maturity in the thinking among developing countries. Through the operation of this mechanism, we are now in the third year, there is a growing body of knowledge that is emerging through the reviews. A growing body of knowledge regarding evidence-based and benchmarked technical assistance requirements for developing countries, for the implementation of the convention. This political decision and this growing body of information and the benchmarking that is occurring through the link established with the implementation review has raised expectations. And it is a matter of credibility, particularly for the donor community, but also for the international community as a whole, to ensure that those expectations are not frustrated and those requirements are actually met. At UNODC, in our capacity as a Secretariat of the Conference of the States Parties, we have made a proposal for a three-pronged approach as to how these requirements can be met. We have proposed that those needs be addressed at three levels. The global level, which would entail the production of tools, manuals, and other material that have worldwide applicability, and they are amenable to adaptation to local situations. The regional approach, which will entail addressing needs that are consistently identified by a large number of the countries of a region at the regional level to realize economies of scale. And the country level, where the needs are looked at with much more attention to detail in order to develop country programs. It is at that level, I would suggest to you, that the requirements of your requirements, the requirements of anti-corruption authorities need to be addressed. But in order for those needs to be addressed, they need to be expressed. And here is where I believe this conference can make a difference and can add a contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I have been privileged to witness the birth of this association and to support it as it was making its first baby steps, and now to be proud as it enters adulthood. Certainly, associations, certainly anti-corruption authorities like yours are beginning to attract more of the spotlight. And there is a growing body of literature that purports not only to examine and analyze you, but also to assess your performance and your effectiveness. Much of that literature is, if not all, is based on a lot of extrapolation and a lot of subjective judgment. That growing body of literature creates a number of risks. It creates the risk of shifting focus away from the fact that the fight against corruption, the prevention and control of corruption, cannot be the function, cannot be the responsibility, rather, of any single agency. It requires a holistic approach. It risks turning assessments and evaluations into an end in itself, and therefore detracting attention from the actual needs and functioning of authorities like yours. It risks also arresting the process that is by definition long and arduous. And it risks there's a risk at jumping to premature and arbitrary conclusions. I think this association needs to assert its role and to speak with authority. It is the only association of anti-corruption authorities. It is the only association, the only body that can actually speak about anti-corruption authorities. There is an urgency in that we are approaching fast the second cycle of the review mechanism, in which the chapter on prevention, which includes the article that provides authority for the establishment of anti-corruption agencies, will begin in 2015. We don't have much time. We need to move quite fast. We need to celebrate the successes of this association, but we cannot rest on our laurels. There is much work ahead, and I am confident that with the strong leadership that this association has, this work can be accomplished. The commitment of that leadership will be crucial, together with a robust governance structure, which I understand discussion is underway in order to ensure that it continues. As your association embarks on this challenging path, on this challenging road ahead, you can count on UNODC and on my own personal support. We will be here next to you, and we will not waver in our commitment. Thank you for your attention.